Good morning and a happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Hand today is going to be pocket fives. So on this hand, we have early position player open raises. I've got 961 hands. He's playing 1610. I bet he is playing a tight range, pretty narrow range, and you can see based on his stats, yeah, raise first in's 9%. This is a player that I don't know if I have notes on him. I'm going to try to avoid. I've got some or flop information. So we're looking at about 9%. That's 8.3%. 9.2%. Maybe fives plus. Maybe he has Jack 10 suited. Might not have that and instead pick up the rest of these pocket pairs. Normally players don't raise with King Queen off. They do with Ace Queen off, and I think Ace Jack, Ace 10 suited is reasonable. So that's their range, and now we look at a mid position call that should kind of be like this. And I know right away that I had fives that I called here, and it's not in my calling range. I do, before I did that, I was looking at playing basically in early position. My call is basically the same as mid position call, and for good reason. If I'm in mid position, chances are it's going to be the early position player that open raises. I think here though we're in the hijack, we can expand our range just a little bit, and looking at the players behind us, none of them really seemed overly loose. So I think if I call, especially coming from this player, it's a possibility that we'll go heads up. So I think we can probably expand our range a little bit for a little bit more speculative hands, but we're gonna go with this. Fives, again, they look nice. It's great when we hit trips, but the chance that happens is pretty small. He is a deep stack, so if we do hit trips and he has, let's say, aces or kings, we can probably get paid. So I called, and everyone else folded. So we're taking our mostly weak range up against this range, which is 116 combos, 8.75%, and you can see that he does have the edge on us, at least until the flop. So we have 58 combos. Board comes out, ace of clubs, queen of hearts, five of diamonds. I think this is a great flop for us. Well, not really for our range. I mean, I know we have tens, we just hit trips, but for our range, when you look at this, if we flop two pair, it's unlikely that our villain also has two pair or caught a piece of the flop. If we have king, queen, we have to worry about the ace that's out there, and I think he does have aces in his, an ace in his range. If we hit the jack, I think ace, queen, ace, jack would be okay, because we had top pair, and it reduces the number of combos of aces that he has in his hand. But if we catch a queen, king, queen, jack, we have to proceed cautiously. Probably call flop, but then if he bets the turn, we're going to probably have to give up. These other hands, it's unlikely that we have aces. It's unlikely that we have queens. So villains playing 88.55. I do expect him to bet some of this time. I think he would probably check two pair, possibly, just to maybe just a trap, or it is heads up, so he may just be aggressive and say, look, I bet this hits my range hard, it doesn't really hit my calling range, so he's gonna bet, and I'm gonna say pot. If he's one of these players that hey, he hits a hand and he hits top pair, he's gonna try to go for maximum value. So let's say top pair plus, maybe he checks with the pocket pair below the top card and the middle pair because he's worried that I might have the aces, and possibly the gut shot. So I think it's just like top pair plus is what I'm gonna give him. And that means when it comes to us, what should we be calling? Well, I think it'd be hard for us to fold top pair. I think it's hard for us to fold two pair. I think if we raise two pair with two pair, he's going to give up on his top pair. He is a tight player, so I'm going to assume he would give up on the top pair, and he would probably only call with ace queen, which means we're going to be splitting. So I think, you know, if I raise with two pair, it folds out the hands that we beat. Folds out the hands that we beat. So I kind of think we're going to be calling with top pair, two pair. I don't even think we can call with two card backdoor flushes. They look good. We have position, but you know, this board just hits his range so hard that, you know, we need a miracle. I don't expect him to be betting kings. So I don't think it's going to be a situation where he's going to bet 100% of his range and then check, because he's afraid of the ace, and it gives us an opportunity to pick up the pot. So I don't think it makes any sense. They kind of have some of these weak draws. So what did I do? I called. I'm going to say that that's what I called with. And he bet half pot, so you know it's nothing too big, nothing too small. I'm just going to say standard c-bet range. So my flop range is that. It's 25%. I've got 12 combos to pass through. Their flop range, definitely tighter. They're better than us. 39.1%. He has 36% in the range. And you can see that we're about 50-50 just because he has the top pair hands. He has the ace king, the ace jack, ace 10 in his range, and we don't. I mean, we do, but those are the hands that, you know, our two pairs going to be beating all of those. So we see a turn of a three of diamonds, and that doesn't really change anything. So now at this point, if I have a big hand, I'm not going to be raising. I don't think I'm going to be betting, because it doesn't really change anything. If he didn't have a hand, you know, if he had kings and jacks or king queen and was just betting, hoping, you know, to see if I have the ace, when he checks, he's just going to fold to my bet. So I think if he checks to us, I think we just check behind. And I think we're going to be checking behind our entire range game. What we're hoping for is that maybe he bets into us and we call on the river, or that when he checks the river and we bet on the river, that he's suspicious enough that he calls just to see what we have, to see if we actually do have that ace. I don't see any value in raising, in betting here. So when that three of diamonds hit, you can see that our equities basically stayed the same. We're a little bit ahead, 51.2% versus his, but it could very quickly change. Now he bet 7.4%. We already took out those kings. I think he's probably betting again with top pair. Ace jack, ace 10 though, could be about 50%. Maybe he doesn't. We'll say 60% on those, because maybe he's cautious, and maybe he's afraid that I have two pair. But I think two pairs still going to bet. I think sets are going to bet. Flush draws, I do think are going to continue betting with the diamond, but you can see that those flush draws include the ace, you know, ace jack, ace 10, and so forth. So he bets half pot again, and now it's like, okay, he's just now made two half pot bets. He definitely has a hand that he likes. Should we continue with top pair? I think it's almost too weak to fold, because he might have ace 10, but I think we could possibly find a fold. I don't know what else we can plan for. Maybe if we had the ace jack of diamonds, we would call, or possibly raise. But I think, you know, his range is just so tight, so strong here, that we could probably justify a fold here. I didn't, so I'm going to say two pair. I got two pair, top pair, and, you know, was I getting the odds to draw? I needed 25% equity. Let's get that. Let's say he bets 100%, or almost. And my flush draw, yeah, you can see my flush draw is basically a combo flush draw. So if I had ace of jack, I could probably raise, but I am getting the odds to draw, so I called. So you can see now that when he bet, we reduce the number of times that he has ace jack and ace 10, so that actually hurts our equity a little bit. So we called 100% basically. Combos that we have is still 12. His was reduced a little bit, 95.6% with 34.4 combos. And then our river card is a 10 of hearts. King Jack now could hurt us, but I don't think he would be betting King Jack. I really don't. I think he is the player that King Jack would have just checked. Check called, and then possibly led into the pot at this time. So their range is equity is 53.3%. What does he do? That is somewhat of a scary board. I bet he bets with the set. 2 pair. I think top pair though. I think he probably just check calls with ace king and ace jack. I don't think he would be betting those. So he bets a little more than half pot. He definitely has a strong hand, and that's why I don't think ace king, ace jack would possibly be there. Could we just make a note of it? I had pocket fives, right? So I think on this he bets now 3 times. My top pair is not good. That's all we have is 2 pair. I think we just call with 2 pair. I think that is our calling range. I called because I had trips, and he shows king jack, which is surprising because I didn't have that in his range. I took that out. I assumed on the flop, yeah, king jack suited. That was in his range. I assumed that his gut shot that he wouldn't have bet. But now that we know that, we can make a note. So flop, oops, just post flop. Let's say post flop. Double barrel with gut shot draw. Double barrel half pot from early position. And we'll say heads up. So we'll add that note. So if we see him again, we know that he's definitely capable. Even though he's tight, he's definitely capable of betting those gut shots. And you know, the turn, I guess we can add that double barrel half pot with gut shot draw from EP. And say flush draw on turn. Be a little bit more. He might not have bet on the turn if this was not a diamond. So I don't like my call pre-flop. Yeah, we flop trips. Based on our read of this player, I don't think he's going to be calling a raise. I think we did what we could. He was going to continue betting. I think on the river when he checks, I think we can go for a little bit of value. He might call with ace king, but I think if we raise, I don't think he's going to be getting it in. Maybe on the turn he'll get it in if we raise, but you know, based on his ranges, I think this was well played, well hidden by him. But you know, fool us once, take some notes, and hopefully we avoid it again. Hopefully you like this hand. Look tomorrow for another one.